It's WrestleLost. It's WrestleLost. Can you believe it? King Bad God. Oh. I see that, JR. It's triggered. It's Johnny. It's Drew. Can you believe it? It's going to be a slobber knocker. As they say, anything can happen on WrestleLost. Welcome to WrestleLost, folks.
Ah, yes, you can as here. It's the WrestleLost Derby cast.
The sniper.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to WrestleLost. What a fucking week. I know we've said that a lot recently, but this one, I think, takes the cake. So to get it going, here's Johnny.
Yeah, both in news and wrestling.
Yeah.
Okay, first some smaller notes. We have another wrestling couple that has gotten engaged. That will be Ricochet and SmackDown ring announcer Samantha Irvine. So congratulations to them.
I hope this one sticks because he's been through a couple. But now it's good news.
Third time's a charm.
Yes.
Jay White is now a free agent. He's no longer with New Japan. And I know that he's being sought after by both AEW and WWE. And I mean, he's a free agent, even though he still has a loser leaves Japan match with Hikuleo coming up, which I guess we already know how that's going to turn out. But do we? Because WWE, as we said last week, also has interest in Hikuleo and his brother Tama Tonga as well. Which one of those two, maybe both, might be in the Rumble. So we'll see. We'll see about that. I know Triple H has his eye on a few others. I know the former Ezra Judge from NXT. He had just lost the MLW tag titles, and they're looking at bringing him back. And like I said, Jay White. Also, they're looking to have maybe get both Beth Phoenix and Edge in the Rumble matches. I know they were talking about possibly a Hell in a Cell match with Finn Balor, but we've only got 2 weeks left, and he hasn't even returned to TV yet. So if that's going to happen, he needs to show up on Monday and start that.
Yeah, because like you said, they're looking to bring back Beth Phoenix and Edge. I've heard Logan Paul is probably going to be in the Rumble.
Yeah,
which I'm a bit surprised on that one, seeing as
I mean, he is a contracted talent. So
yeah, but the injury he had was a bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
we'll see if he actually shows up.
yeah, and they're continuing to tease Cody returning at the Rumble.
Yeah, and I'm fine with all those names. All those names are going to get big pops during the Rumble. The only one I'm unsure of is the last one that I heard for now, and that's Dewdrop.
Yeah,
I don't know how I feel about that one. Like I know they need to fill up the women's and bring up as many as they can for it, but I'm just still not sold on her and the way she's been treated.
Well, if she comes back, bring her back as Piper Niven.
Yes.
That's what I was speaking to someone throughout the week. If they are going to bring her back, don't bring her back as Dewdrop. Shift the character. Do it good. So we'll see how they go with that one.
And I don't watch Impact, as many people don't, but I heard that Santino Marella is now in Impact as Santino Marella, which I mean that's great, because I thought that was a WWE name, but I guess not. He's
I
actually an authority figure.
Yeah, I thought that was a WWE name as well, but hey, if he's able to use it, that's just gonna bring more attention to Impact
Yeah,
having him there.
because now I want to go watch it. I want to go watch his debut.
I watched it. Someone clipped it and put it online, and
Uh-huh.
that's where I watched it. I haven't watched the whole show, but
Yeah,
he's funny, man. He's funny, and he still looks like he can go if he really wanted to.
I'm sure he could.
So whatever he decides to do in Impact, I'm cool with. I thought he could have been utilized more in WWE,
Yeah,
and hey, there's always a chance. So
yeah.
good for him for being out there and doing this thing.
The WrestleMania figures or some figures are out, even though we still have 3 months before the show and no matches have been announced yet. It's the highest gate for WrestleMania in history, which you know what that's all attributed to is
Yeah,
Triple H.
yeah. They have the perfect opportunity here to have a badass WrestleMania. Don't let everything that has happened this week and what could possibly happen in the upcoming months affect that.
Yeah,
Stay on course is all I'm going to say. Because if you don't, and this ends up fucking up the plans somehow, a lot of people that were excited and bought tickets and made the plans to fly in from wherever and all that are going to be extremely pissed off.
and yeah, because and of course WrestleMania weekend is always a big weekend wherever it's at.
Yeah.
Last night on Rampage they announced that uh, the Super Card of Honor is going to be on March 31st, which is on Friday, and then WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. So even though we're not going, we're going to have a busy weekend.
Yeah. And it being in LA, which is something I'm going to talk about later as well, because that's where Dynamite and Rampage were.
Yeah,
I know some people that were at Dynamite and Rampage, and and those same people are probably going to be at Super Card of Honor,
yeah,
and they're probably going to do WrestleMania weekend. So fuck yeah, dude! It's going to be a fun time down there.
yeah. Not only that, all the GCW shows as well.
Yeah,
So get ready for. Well, we'll talk about it. Maybe 3 nights of watch-alongs.
Ooh, maybe,
We'll
maybe
have to see. We do have lives.
we have some discussing to do.
Yeah, yeah. So stay tuned. Yeah. Well, okay. Now to the biggest news story of the week. Jinder Mahal returned to NXT.
Oh, you fucking
Got him. Got him.
who
No.
knew? Okay,
I did.
before we
I
get
watched
into
it.
it, I'm just
I
gonna
actually
say
watched
this. Real
NXT this week. I'm sorry.
The only person that I thought could get me to react that way is John Cena. We all know that. But you fucked me over on that one, and I was not ready. I was not ready for that.
But that was a big joke of the. I did hear that a few times this week. uh, but no. Okay, so this will be our discussion. So Tuesday, uh, probably around 5:30, I get a call from Freddie, and he told me that Stephanie had resigned. So I looked, and yeah, she turned in her resignation at the end of the business day. Then rumors started swirling later that night by couple people, by Cassidy Haynes, BodySlam.net, and Steven Mielhausen of The Zone, that WWE has sold to the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. Now, none of the major wrestling outlets like Dave Meltzer and Sean Ross Sapp, Fightful, or Mike Johnson, PW Insider, none of them were reporting that this was true. That it was actually happening. It was just a report. But that got buzz, major buzz on Twitter, on other wrestling outlets like Wrestle Lots, We Are Wrestle Lots, Wrestle Talk, and Wrestle Talk. We were actually thinking of going live too that day, but then it turned out that this news wasn't a fact. I know that on Fightful they had a 4-hour NXT review show, and they weren't spending a 4 hours talking about NXT.
No, I was there.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
was there. It was 4 hours.
Yeah, because Sean went on there and he let everyone know it's not true, uh, that those were just reports, that they don't know how those rumors got started. So after that came out, the following day, uh, it was reported, and this is again not fact, but it was a more, I guess you could say, a reliable report than the Saudi one, that Shad and Tony Khan, who already own Fulner SFC in the UK, they own the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tony also owns AEW, were in the running for buying WWE. I I have a theory on this, and I think maybe it's more than just trying to buy out your competition. The cons, they're Iranian, and Saudis don't like Iranians, which that's why Sami Zayn's never gone to any of the Saudi events. MVP is converted away from Islam, which he may, if he does go over there, he may be put to death. So that's why he hasn't gone either. But yeah, maybe this is just a play to get under their skin. But I have heard that it's only about a 20% chance that the cons would buy WWE.
I'll take 20% over no chance.
Yeah,
No chance in hell. Sorry, had to. It was there.
but that's just a theory I had. But obviously, a lot of people started thinking, well, what if they do buy it? And then you have two companies owned by the same people. I'm thinking, well, you know what? You can do a proper invasion storyline, just like with when they bought WCW. There's a lot of possibilities. Here's something that I think they should do if that sale does go through with the cons, is that they're with Warner Brothers Discovery. They make a new channel, a new wrestling channel, and because this is what WWE wanted to do back in 2011 when they first had the idea for the WWE network. They wanted to make it a cable channel, but they couldn't find any cable outlets or satellite providers that wanted to buy it. So That's when they came up with the whole streaming idea. They make a channel, you can play all the classic wrestling moments during the day, and okay, Monday night you got Raw, Tuesday night you got NXT, Wednesday you got Dynamite, Thursday you can have your ROH show, and Friday you have SmackDown and Rampage, and then you can also show the pay-per-views on there on the weekends. And since New Japan is partners with AEW, New Japan AEW could go into talks with Bushiroad that owns New Japan and see if they can also broadcast New Japan events overnight. That would be a hell of a network.
Yeah, it would be. All a lot of things would have to fall in place perfectly for it to happen.
Yes,
but
it's a long shot.
And it's a long shot, but it's a very good long shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, as far as the cons buying WWE, one of the other things I heard is not keeping them separate, but merging and possibly having a spot for Vince McMahon.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Me personally, if they do purchase WWE and decide to merge them together, I think you leave Vince out of it.
Why would you need Vince at all?
Right. Exactly.
Now, I would keep Triple H.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
But not Vince.
Because go ahead.
No, I was going to say because another thing with the Saudi rumor was that they wanted to take it private. If they took it private, AEW's private right now. They don't have an IP on the stock market. If you're private, you don't have to have a board of directors. You don't have to have shareholders. So that would probably, if you did that, then that would be taking WWE private. So there would be people that would need things to do, like Vince. Another thing I did fail to mention though was that the reports came out that Vince, he came back, and by him bringing back Michelle Wilson and George Barrios, was they wanted to get people off the board that were against Vince's ideas. Since Vince came on, 6 board members, including Stephanie, have either left or were let go. And the ones that are left are Vince supporters. And I've also heard that one of the reasons Stephanie may have resigned was because her and Triple H were against the sale of the company, especially when it came to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, they are definitely against it from what I heard as well. That's the big thing. And the Stephanie news doesn't end there. We hate to speculate. But shit happens. And stuff comes out rather quickly nowadays. So come to find out, and this is from Stephanie herself because she went and did her post on Twitter and Instagram and all that shit, thanking certain doctors because she needed to have ankle surgery to fix a broken ankle. So what the fuck happened? There are the reports that, shocker, like you said, her and Vince weren't getting along with these sales talks and pretty much everything going on in WWE. They weren't on the best terms. And I'm not going to say something happened, but did something happen? It just seems too convenient to me that you resign and she's not running around doing all her stuff as co-CEO with a broken ankle. It would be way too painful. So yeah, I just think something happened, and this probably helped lead to that decision as well. I don't know. That's just what I think. What do you think about it?
I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that other than those tweets. So I don't know if it's something that wrestling outlets aren't picking up on, or what the deal is.
Zach just said Italian mob. She's gonna get whacked. Hey, Vince has friends. Is all
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yes.
Look, as much of a lowlife as Vince is, I highly doubt he would go that far.
Hmm.
And again, you are friends with the Saudis, so
Yeah.
and we all know what happens there.
And you are friends with certain other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit can happen, man, is all I'm saying. What how do you feel about it, Drew? Even though we went live the other day and we spoke a little bit about it, but knowing what little more we know now, how is it that you feel about this whole thing?
I'm just praying it's anybody but the Saudis. And Triple H stays in charge no matter who takes over.
Yeah. Because as there's only one company that is actively reporting, well, I'm not going to even say actively reporting, actively rumored that would keep Vince around if they were to buy it. And that those are the Saudis. And whatever plans Tony and Shad Khan have, but even I just don't see them working well with Vince. Even though they said they would try and work something out, Vince just wouldn't have it because whatever they were to offer him, I don't think he were to accept because he doesn't want to work under anyone. He'd have to be like the guy in charge. And they're not going to let that happen. So,
Yeah.
Comcast,
Well, if he
Disney.
sells it, maybe nobody wants him around, so he'd have to just retire.
Yeah. Yeah. Comcast, Disney, all these companies based in the States that are looking to buy it have pretty much all said they want nothing to do with Vince. They don't want him on in any capacity.
I've heard even Warner Brothers Discovery might be interested as well, which I guess also goes along with the cons buying it as well.
Yeah. There could be many different companies that would make a good argument and make a good shot at buying it. I just hate the waiting game, but that's what we're gonna have to do. Yeah, we're gonna have to play the waiting game. And Zach just asked, and this is something that Johnny might know. Does anyone know if stock has dropped since his return? I think it has dropped, but not a significant amount.
Yeah, it has dropped a little. I know when the day after all these rumors, it opened at I think it was 92, and by the end of the day, it had only gone down to 87 or 88. So
Yeah.
it wasn't. And I give me a second. I can check what it closed at yesterday.
All right. Yeah, that is one of the things I had heard is that there was a little bit of a dip, but that was just it leveling out after the initial shock, the initial Vince McMahon shock and awe campaign. That's what I'm calling it.
As of right now, they're at $89.84.
Okay,
So not much fluctuation.
no, like it's a little bit of a dip, but that's like I said from the little bit that it went up with all this Vince news. It was bound to level out. So that's just that's just what it's doing right now. It's leveling out. But yeah, man, whoever decides to buy WWE, just let that be the end of it. As far as Vince, he
And
just needs to go away.
yeah, even though I have heard he's rumored to be at the Rumble.
Please no.
Yeah.
Look, we're still gonna do our live watch along. I don't think any amount of bad news that happens between now and then is going to stop that because the plan is in motion. It's going to happen. But whatever happens between now and then, it's just going to greatly affect how we feel about it. So, yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see if anything comes out before then.
Yeah, and the sale of the company is going to take a while. It usually takes between 3 to 6 months because there's a whole process that they have to go through. They've they hired J.P. Morgan Chase to help them facilitate the sale as far as the financial part of it goes. But there's a process they have to get the potential buyers together and have sign NDAs and then then the interview processes begin. And once a company is chosen, that company has to do its due diligence and look at all the financials and uh, the the legal and IT and all that before they can come to an agreement. So then that takes a while.
Yeah. The only question mark there, and this is something I spoke to Johnny about earlier in the week, is nobody really knows how far along in the process they are.
Yeah, because they said that that they think that J.P. Morgan's already been with the company for about 2 months, and who knows how long Vince has been talking to Saudi before he actually came back.
Yeah. So they might not have like everything ready down in paper, like just ready to sign and go, but it's not new. I think it's a lot further along than we think it is.
We should know something by at least by the summer.
I would say a good timeline for us to start hearing some real serious conversations about it, end of March.
So
Um,
you're talking about WrestleMania time.
yeah, like right after WrestleMania is when we're gonna get some really great information coming out about it. I hope.
I mean, it could be possible, but you know what happened the week after WrestleMania in 2020.
Yeah. Or, and again, this is just something that might happen depending on how things go. Knowing how Vince is, a sale, even though it would be taking him out of WWE, would be a big deal. And he might even do this as his last big thing he does in WWE. He would announce who bought WWE live at WrestleMania and have them there. That is a very Vince thing to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, he would want to go out with a bang. So why not do this?
Can you imagine Tony Khan walking out on stage?
That would make me very upset that we wouldn't be there. Because we did discuss going to LA.
Yeah.
But things happened and
And
it wasn't able to work out.
yeah, and from what I've heard, LA is very expensive.
Yeah. Which there's ways around it. Credit cards. But
No.
that yeah, as far as I know, it's way too expensive down
Yeah.
there. So I would have loved to have gone, but it's just expensive as hell. But if it does happen for some reason, if it goes down the way I just said, I'm gonna really be kicking myself for not going. But it is what it is. It's not the last WrestleMania, I hope. So we're definitely gonna be at another one in our lifetime.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right. Yeah, it's just the waiting game on that. So we will see how it goes, and if we get any other information on it, best believe we will be here to talk about it. So now that we've spoken on that and all of the news, we're going to go ahead and get into the shows of the week. So I'm going to go to Johnny and get his moment for WWE this week.
Okay. Well, of course, like most of my moments involve the bloodline because that's pretty much the only good thing going in WWE as far as story. We're starting to get some new ones on the Raw, so that's good. But this week, the main event of SmackDown was Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens, and at the towards the beginning of the show, Sami was backstage at the dressing room. Paul Heyman was there. He's like, no one's here. The Usos aren't here. Solo's not here. But that's because Roman wants you to go out there and do this on your own to prove your worth to the bloodline. So okay, Sammy, he did the whole Paul Heyman. It's a prediction. It's a spoiler, or hang on, I messed it up. It's not a
That's
prediction.
not a prediction.
Spoiler, yes. And Paul Heyman, after Sami Zayn walks out, Paul Heyman acts like he doesn't really want anything to do with Sammy. So we go to the end of the night. During the match, the match was good, of course, like all Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens matches have always been. Just move after move after move. But then, right when Sammy's about to deliver that haluba kick, here comes the bloodline, the Usos and Solo, and they cause a DQ, and Sammy, starts arguing. I thought Roman wanted me to do this on my own. Why'd y'all come out here? And at the end of the show, he throws up the "We Are the Ones," but he seems like he really didn't want to do that. So, a lot of people are saying, well, it's just a matter of time before the bloodline turns on Sammy. But what if Sammy turns on the bloodline first? This is how he gets that alignment with Kevin Owens, and I think it's going to start at the Rumble. I think something's going to happen during that match between Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens.
I don't know. And I mean that in a good way. Because this could go off in many different directions. I don't think Sammy would be one to betray the bloodline just because of the respect he has for Roman. I don't think he would do it on purpose. It might happen accidentally to where in a match with Roman, like he accidentally hits him with a haluva kick or something. Like it's possible. There's ways for it to happen, but intentionally, I don't think he would. But this match, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, was so damn good. And when he was ready to hit the haluva kick, I was like, they might just give him this win and just like do an Usos and solo attack afterwards. But when it ended up happening and it cost Sammy the match, I had to shake my head, man. Why y'all got to do my boy so dirty? Look, feeling Usi, bro. They weren't feeling Usi that night. I'll say that much. Yeah, I know. I like the story and I like the way they did it here. It's all about the storyline. The bloodline is all about the storyline. We know the matches are great, but just the story they're telling and the way Sammy reacted to the Usos and Solo coming out there, it was perfect, man. Yeah, he's starting to doubt himself. He he's starting to doubt in the bloodline, and just the way he threw up like the sign with all the Usos, like the day one, like it felt very hesitant on Sammy's part. So yeah, it's looking like we're finally on our way to getting the conclusion to this part of the story, and that this could be like the dismantling of the bloodline. I think it's about time that they go their separate ways.
Yeah.
They've been doing this for a very long time, and it has been good. Strike while the iron is hot, like they say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it kind of looks like they're trying to separate the belts as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you have two different tag team tournaments for the belts.
yeah. They had a tag team turmoil match on Raw, which was really good. It ended up with the Judgment Day, and so now they're going to get a match for just the Raw tag titles.
And then next week we start a tournament for the SmackDown titles. So
yeah, I think it's all going to happen very quickly. If this all culminates at WrestleMania, I'm fine with it. Like that makes a good couple of months on some really good storyline ending. So, yeah.
You don't think they do it as soon as the Rumble starts?
I mean, it starts at the Rumble, but the final moments of the bloodline, I think it happens at Mania.
Like the complete collapse of the bloodline happens at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm saying they leave Mania, no titles.
Yeah.
That's how it needs to happen. And that's that. And the reason I say that is, as much as I love it, it's time for the titles to go elsewhere, to go to someone else.
Yes.
And it's time for Roman to step away from it. Maybe he even goes away for a little bit just to kind of rehab himself from not being the tribal chief anymore. Yeah, who knows what you do after it, but I think the perfect place to end this is WrestleMania. But yeah, man, really good shit from the bloodline this week. Sammy selling the way he did was pretty badass. And it would piss a lot of people off, Zach, but hey, look, he gave him a hell of a first match, so maybe Logan Paul gets it. You never know. So now that we got Johnny's moment in there, I'm going to go over to Drew and get his moment for WWE this week.
Well, I'm sticking to SmackDown.
All
I'm
right.
going to go with the opening match of SmackDown. I think it was the opening match. Yeah.
It was.
Yes.
Braun Strowman versus Gunther, which was a good match. You know how Gunther is. He's the ring general. He worked on Braun's arm that he injured, 2 weeks ago? And Braun put up a hell of a fight. Although that power bomb at the end didn't quite look like it had enough power on it to bomb anything. But
I mean, Braun Strowman, I don't think he's taken many power bombs.
Right.
If any.
You have to look at
especially what was he, 385 or 365, something like that?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you have to look at a couple.
I'm sure he's not taking very many.
Yeah, the fact that he probably hasn't taken one power bomb at all. This was probably the first time, and the fact that he's just so freakishly big, like it doesn't help that it didn't. It probably looked as best as it was going to look.
Yeah, and actually, it was actually in Braun's hometown because he's from Green Bay.
Yeah, he had the Green Bay Packer boots.
Yeah.
Which Freddie was telling me today are actually going to go on auction.
Yeah. They're going to go on auction because he did them because of a fan that was also a Green Bay fan, WWE big Braun Strowman fan, who lost his life
at the Waukesha parade.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was in honor of him. So
I'm sure all the proceeds are going to go to his family or some charity or something for the sale of these boots.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm tempted to take a look whenever it does go into auction, but I'm not going to be able to afford it.
Oh no.
So, but hey, it's for a good cause. So hell, fucking yeah. And of course, like Gunther got the win.
Yeah, Gunther retained.
Yeah, Gunther retained. So you don't have to worry about that, Zach. Gunther is still champion.
Yeah. So who takes it from him?
Who does take it from him?
The only person I could probably see challenging him for that is Brock. Get Brock out of the Roman Reigns picture for once. Just to let him do something else.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot of people talking about that they want that match of Lesnar versus Gunther. So it could happen. Yeah, but for Brock to step away from that title picture and stay away from Roman for a bit, yeah, it would be different, and I would love to see it. So.
And this is how you get Paul Heyman back with Brock, because if they do lose all the titles and Brock wins the IC title, Paul Heyman's going to want to go with the champion.
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of questions still happening because of the bloodline, but once they drop all the titles and they're freed up to go elsewhere, it's gonna lead to some really good shit. So hell yeah, man. We'll see what Lesnar decides to do next. So I'm also gonna stick on SmackDown because we just like Johnny and everybody else is all focused in on the bloodline. We know what I'm focused in on. I hate myself because I really want this to be great, but I'm trying to look past the whole
Sponsorship.
sponsored by Mountain Dew, whatever the drink is called. I already
Pitch black.
forgot.
Pitch
Pitch
black.
black.
Okay, pitch black. I'm trying to look past that. I'm trying to stay focused on just the match. I really like what Bray Wyatt did here. The reason I liked it so much this week is because it was a little bit different than how it's always been. There was no Uncle Howdy. There was no LA Knight out there interrupting. It was strictly cult leader Bray Wyatt. So he does his entrance and makes it into the ring, does the whole spin with the lantern stuff, blows out the lantern, goes completely dark, no spotlight. When spotlight pops back up, it's the rocking chair. As soon as I saw the chair there, I'm like, oh, we're gonna go old school on this shit.
Yeah, I expect him to come back out with the fedora on.
Yeah. Yeah, we're like gonna get Wyatt family Bray Wyatt. That's what we're gonna get here. And that was pretty much what happened. Like he sat down in the rocking chair. He cut a very old school Bray Wyatt promo. Said, "Uncle Howdy is me. I am Uncle Howdy." Like somehow, I don't know how that's gonna work, but it is very interesting that he's acknowledging that they are, in a way, the same person. And that LA Knight should be really worried because, pretty much, in my own words, these aren't in Bray's words, but it's pretty much what he said, he's going to fuck him up. That's what's going to happen. And that he better run.
Yeah.
And
Basically, he
the
said
whole
he
Bray
found himself.
Wyatt like cut scene, how he used to end his promos back in the day.
Yeah.
Loved it. Loved it.
Yeah, basically he said he found himself.
Yeah.
I am the eater of worlds. I am all this and all that.
I was telling Freddie maybe he's gonna do his own version of the Three Faces of Foley. You know, because he came out with a cult leader Bray. You know, he might maybe another week come out with the Mr. Rogers Bray. Another week maybe he'll be the Fiend. You know.
Yeah.
And one week he'll be Uncle Howdy. One week he'll be
Because there was another QR code.
What? Did you catch it? Because I couldn't catch it. It was too fast. And I kept trying to pause it at the right moment. I couldn't.
I paused it. It took me a couple of times. But I finally got it at the right moment. And when you scanned it, it just leads you to a picture of the Fiend.
See, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's next.
And it also puts it in your mind as to who else is on the way back, because he also said, we're here. Who's here? Who? We need to know who.
Yeah.
It left us with more questions than answers, but these are really good questions to have.
Well, it could be all the Funhouse people that showed up at.
Yeah.
Can you remember Stream Rules? Was it Stream Rules?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you know they don't talk about the Wyatt Six anymore. They
Yeah.
haven't been talking about that.
Yeah. So I know what he meant by him saying we're here. It's obviously the Wyatt Six.
Yeah.
But I'm just real anxious to know who they are. Like, who are the people behind the masks? That's what I'm ready to know.
Well, I think we got Sister Abigail kind of down. Maybe.
I mean, it's sitting right there that it's Alexa Bliss, right?
Yeah, because Uncle Aldi actually interrupted her promo on Raw.
Raw.
Yeah.
And
And
in the middle of that promo that goes to commercial. What the hell? Oh.
and Bo Dallas was backstage at Raw on Monday.
Yeah. So I do think we can say, like, for 90, I would say almost 100% certain that Alexa is Sister Abigail, and that Bo Dallas is probably Uncle Howdy. But we still need to know who Huskus is, Ramblin' Rabbit, Mercy. Like, we still need to know who all these other people are. But
Right. And what's Bray going to do? Is he going to do something else, or is she going to stay the Fiend, or what? Or is she going to become Huskus? Or
I
don't
think
know.
he should stay himself because of everything he has spoken about. He found who he is, and he's just going to be real and be himself. You can't say that and then just go back to another character. So you just get other people to fill those characters. Yet he still, like, is connected mentally to that character and maybe, like, puppeteers them somehow. I'm ready for the fucking Rumble to get here, man. Even though it is a pitch black match and who knows what the fuck is going to happen there. I just want to see this already.
Yeah.
I think
If
it
it's a
would
pitch black match, how are we going to watch it?
Well,
yeah.
so here's what I'm hearing people say is it would be a really tough feat for this to be pulled off, but in different parts of the match, it's not going to be dark all the time. But in certain parts of the matches, it's going to go dark to where you can't see anything. And when the lights come back up, he's going to be a different character. He could start off as Bray Wyatt, like him now. Lights go dark, quick change. He's the Fiend. Lights go dark, comes back up. He's Mercy somehow. I don't know.
Uncle Howdy.
Uncle Howdy, yeah. Like,
Huskus.
there's going to be different parts of the matches, and every different part, he's someone else.
I just thought it would have been funny if you scanned that QR code and it was an ad from the Mountain Dew Pitch Black.
What's wrong with you, Dan? I don't know who.
Freddie's like, you're not the one that's supposed to trigger me.
You're not the sniper. What are you doing? Like, now you two are doing your own version of who is it? I don't know if it's the brain. I don't know if it's the sniper. Is it just Johnny? I have no clue, man.
So this is your version of Among Us. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Look, I'm trying my best to look past the pitch black shit. I just want it to be the 28th already. Because as much as I'm gonna love that whole show, if all goes as planned, then I hope it does. That's probably gonna be the moment of the night for me, barring something really incredible happening in the Rumble, which is also possible.
Which will happen.
Yeah.
By the way, we looked it up, and Pitch Black doesn't even come out until Monday.
Fuck this flavor. I love Mountain Dew, but fuck this flavor.
I want to know what it tastes like. Is it licorice flavor?
No, what? Because we went into a bit of a deep dive on this during lunch. Because I was wanting to get a bottle of it just to have some fun here on stream and be like, this is what I hate. Look at my Mountain Dew fucking pitch black. Ah.
I want you to do a taste test live for us next week.
It's like, from what I read, it's supposed to be like a dark fruit. So maybe like a blackberry type of flavor.
Like I said, you need to have a live taste test next week.
I will get one. And I'll taste it on there.
So then, back when they used to have the red light, they could have had it sponsored by Code Red.
I didn't mean to do that.
He went away.
So now that we've gone through my moment,
He rage quit.
I'm going to go back to Drew and get his moment for AEW this week.
It was the last moment of the week for AEW. I actually really enjoyed this. It was the Anna Jay, Ty Mello versus Ruby Soho, the Willow and Willow Nightingale in the street fight. And actually started off great. Ty and Anna Jay came out first. Then as they were sitting at the top of the ramp, they get attacked from behind by Ruby and Willow. And they're wearing like a tribute to Dudley's with their camouflage pants. And at one point, Ruby pushed Willow Nightingale and yelled, "Get the tables!" But early on in the match, Ruby got cut or something, bloodied up. Her whole face was red, and pretty much
match her hair.
Throughout yeah, actually, I think her hair was green in this.
Oh.
But Anna Jay had blood all over her. Ty had blood all over her. And Willow had blood on her. And it all came from Ruby. At one point, they put both Ruby and Willow through a table at ringside. Ruby went through the announce table. Willow went through another table that was set up ringside. It was like a pile driver through the table. And Willow and Anna Jay fought back up the ramp, and they had a table set up not to the side of the ramp. And Willow did a sit-down power drop bomb through the table, and Anna Jay completely missed the table. Willow jumped too far. So she's the only one that went through the table. So Anna Jay could have got hurt, but I think she's fine. By the end of the match, there was a suplex off the ring post onto the chairs. Very end, Ty brought out the thumbtacks and tried to do she was trying to push Ruby's face into him. Ruby fought back and did her her finisher. What is it? Final Destination or Destination Unknown, whatever it's called.
Yeah, Destination Unknown.
Which means she's a Josh Gates fan. Oh. On to Ty into the thumbtacks, and Ruby gets the pin. So, yeah, if you like blood and you like violence, this is one to watch.
Yeah, and look, man, me personally, I don't mind all the blood.
I don't either. I loved it, and
But
I even like it more when it's the women doing it because we see guys do it all the time.
yeah,
But
it's,
women,
it's like stereotypical for the guys to bleed during a match. We've seen it way too much. But we really don't get that in women.
right?
So when it happens, it's badass.
Yes.
And I know some people online have been saying, "Oh, they shouldn't have bled so much. It was too much
No.
blood for ladies." Like they can do it, all right?
Let them do it. Hell.
Yeah. Okay, so this is someone that Johnny knows. I'm not sure if Andrew knows her, Queen of the Ring. So Alex put up a tweet that said, "It's hilarious to see people criticize Ruby Soho's bleeding last night and say it was too much. However, they praise moments like this with John Cena and Eddie Guerrero. They eat this
Yes.
up even after discovering Eddie cut an artery. The misogyny of it all." And to that, Kate from Fightful responded and said, "Women bleed on a monthly basis without bleeding. They're fine."
That's funny. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
So I pulled up I did what I always do. I pulled up Twitter right now just to kind of scroll through to make sure nothing important is happening while we're live. And that's what popped up.
Okay.
Right when you were talking about the match. So I'm like, well, it's just fate. Like I need to mention it now.
Yeah.
Because it was at the top of my list as soon as I
Well, does that mean they're listening to us talk about it? Oh.
No, because
You have to send her a message, let her know that we were talking about that the very moment
yeah.
they tweeted it.
Yeah. I just thought it was one of those what a coincidence type of moments. So I had to share it. But yeah, man, I heard this is the only match that I haven't been able to watch yet because I had some connectivity issues last night. Is what I'm gonna leave it at. So I wasn't able to watch anything. Watch much. I finished SmackDown. I've made it most of the way through Rampage. This is the only match that I need to watch, but I did
It's
hear
worth the watch.
Yeah, I did hear that Anna Jay is safe. Like there's no need to worry that there's no injury as far as they see. So it was just a very rough looking spot.
Yeah.
And that I did see because people shared it on Twitter. So I did see that spot.
Yeah.
Completely missed the table.
Yeah. Willow jumped too far. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
She jumped too far.
Yeah. A little too excited. But hey, that's Willow. She's the better version of Dewdrop. So that's what I compare it to. But hell yeah, man. That sounded like some good shit. As soon as we finish up here, I already have it on pause ready to go. So I'm gonna watch that match as soon as we finish up. So now that we got Drew's moment in there, I'm gonna go over to Johnny and get his moment for AEW this week.
Okay, for on Dynamite, we had an unexpected return. Tony Schiavone came out. He was in the ring. He said, I take no pleasure in introducing this next guest." And the music starts playing. It's Adam Cole. Adam Cole, baby, makes his return.
When he said that, I thought it was MJF.
I did too. Yeah. Which I think maybe you should have switched this moment with the JAS later in the night. I think would have made more sense later on. But he came out and he said, the whole thing of I got good news and bad news. You know, he said that, the good news is that he's grateful for all the fans for all their well wishes while he was recovering from the concussion, which he never said concussion. He just said he had some head issues. He was saying that he couldn't be in a car for more than 15 minutes without wanting to, or actually throwing up. That he would wake up in the middle of the night and you know, at, Brett would be afraid because he wouldn't know why he was awake. He doesn't know what's going on. But he did say that he's healed, that he's recovered. But then he said the bad news, and he looks down like he's about to give like the retirement speech. I had Daniel Bryan and Edge flashbacks. But he said the bad news is for me. He said it's for the whole AEW locker room. That's when he said that he's back and that he's gonna go after the champion. So we may get an MJF Adam Cole feud down the line, but it's good to see him back. Let's see where they're gonna take him because there's a few things they could have him do. He could he could rejoin the kingdom. He could rejoin the elite. So only time will tell. Because Bobby Fish, of course, he's not with the company anymore. Kyle O'Reilly, I've heard, is not doing that good. So hopefully we'll see him back as well.
I think eventually we will get Kyle O'Reilly back because it wasn't looking too good for Adam Cole for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
He went dark, man. Like we wouldn't know anything about that situation. He stayed away from Twitch for a little bit just to work on himself, but came back and started doing weekly, daily streams and stuff like that, gaming and all that shit. But yeah, for a very long time, even though people were asking questions and he was not ignoring it, but just kind of keeping that situation to himself. He just used Twitch as more of a distraction from
Yeah.
everything that he had going on.
Yeah. And even though he's not with WWE anymore, he's still on up, down, down.
Yeah. Yeah. So he's back with them doing stuff. So he looked good, but none of us could really tell what was really going on. So I think there's still hope for Kyle O'Reilly. I would say I'm pretty sure he's gonna make a good comeback sooner than later. So that's also a possibility to do something together whenever he comes back. I I don't know what would be his first feud, but eventually I want him to get up against MJF.
Yeah.
And if anybody is going to dethrone MJF, I would say if it's not Ricky Starks, Adam Cole. But we're a long way from that. For now, I'm just happy to see him back and healthy and giving us a little bit of a heart attack with thinking it's another retirement speech, but it really wasn't. It was just great to hear all about the boom, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait to see what he does. So many different moments I could go with. I really have two moments, but one of them is a bit more of a talking point. So I'm going to save that for after my actual moment. the seventh match of the best of seven, Elite versus Death Triangle, for the World Trios title. I think this match needed more time. By the time they made entrances and all that, maybe got a 13 minutes left in the show. It was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I just think there wasn't enough time to build up to using the ladder, and they could have had more ladder spots, more ladder tease spots in this match.
Yeah, when I was talking about switching to JAS promo, they should have just taken that whole thing out of it. You
Yeah.
didn't need that.
No, that would have added a decent 7 more minutes to this match.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
I
but
would
then
have
you wouldn't have had Ricky Andrade telling Sammy to have his woman keep his hands off him. Oh.
True. That was fine.
Then you wouldn't have had JK or say I like this hat.
Fine. You got me there.
I'm kidding. It's terrible.
I know. I just wish this match had a little bit more time. If they could have got a decent 20 minutes in, I would have been happy. 13 minutes is not enough.
You know what they could have done away with? MJF coming out and talking before Danielson's match.
Yeah, and for that long.
Yeah. I'm happy that the Elite won. And even though the match didn't have that much time, I can appreciate it for how long it lasted. I just wish this would have been a little bit more like a pay-per-view caliber match, because that's what the feel should have been. It being the 7th match of this series. But hey, it was what it was. It was a really good match. I'm happy that the Elite won. And holy shit, Kenny Omega, like, hitting those spots on the ladder. It's insane. It's insane that he came back and that he is doing the shit he is doing right now. The best work he's done in AEW so far. This is what you get when you get a healthy Kenny Omega. And I am happy for that shit. But before I move on from this match, because it ties in with someone in this match, and being that Johnny has been doing Taekwondo for a very long time, he would probably know how this feels more than anybody else. How do you think it is to work with a broken toe?
I've actually experienced have experience with that. It's not pleasant. It's in fact you can't even do any type of move with that foot.
So you would say it would be pretty impossible to have a wrestling match with a broken toe?
Well, maybe not impossible. I would say you would have to be very careful.
Very careful.
Yeah, and it depends. Also depends which toe, as well.
Right.
Like if it's your big toe, you probably won't even be able to walk at all, because that's what supports. That's the toe that supports your foot the most. If it's a
Well, if it's
pinky
like
toe,
pinky
if
toe
it's a
or middle toe, hey.
yeah, if it's a pinky toe, then okay, fine. You just walk a little sideways. But, yeah.
Well, maybe somebody should have told Nick Jackson, because reports are he's been working with a broken toe.
So here's what we tell the kids in Taekwondo, and this is not a joke, that there's nothing they can do for broken toes. You just gotta duct tape it.
And that's the thought that just popped in my mind. I was like, he probably just duct taped it.
Yeah, duct tape it to the next toe.
Yeah.
That way, the toe is elevated. It's not touching the ground. It's not moving.
Yeah. But as soon as I heard like Nick Jackson out there doing matches with a broken toe, bro, if you were like a normal person having normal matches, maybe I would have been like, hey, it's a broken toe. They're fine. They have normal matches. The Young Bucks don't have normal matches.
Yeah,
Even when it's a normal match,
It's not a normal match.
it's not a normal match. It's a normal match to the Young Bucks standard, but it is not a normal match. So yeah, man, Nick Jackson out there working with a broken toe, like just gives them a whole other level of respect from me. So yeah, man, that was an interesting thing to hear about. And as our final talking point, because it was a pretty big deal as well this week, I just want to get your guys' quick thoughts on Mercedes Moné not showing up on Dynamite.
I mean, first I thought it was just, you know, Tony Storm was going to get attacked at the beginning of the show, and then Mercedes going to replace her. But it was a letdown. I mean, when Tony came out, especially when Saraya came out, you could hear the boos from the crowd. But I mean, I think she'll be in AEW eventually. Maybe just not now. Now I'm hearing that maybe after Jay Cargo gets that 49th win, maybe that's when Mercedes comes out and throws out the challenge.
If she comes in to dethrone Jade,
Be the greatest thing ever.
hell
Anyway.
yeah. It would be. So if that's where it's leading to, cool with me. You got the thumbs up. You got the trigger thumbs up on that one. But yeah, I
just think fans need to stop putting too much. What's the word I'm looking for? Putting too much, invest too much in rumors. Because everybody was expecting her to show up because the rumor was she's showing up.
Yeah.
And everybody got a big letdown. It was a great match without her. But everybody's not going to remember it for being a great match. They're going to just remember it because Mercedes wasn't there. Hell, we could have had the beginnings of a Sheeta heel turn, but nobody cares because Mercedes wasn't there.
Right.
we
So
we
they're
all
investing
got,
too much in rumors. So
yeah, I could see why you would say that because that's what obviously happened. But at the same time, you got to see what AEW was doing as well. They heard everybody talking,
and that's probably why they didn't do it, because they heard everybody's talking. So they decided to push it back further, so do it when nobody expects it, because everybody was expecting it then.
and I'm just gonna be completely honest because that's how I am here. I just think they waited too long to announce that it was Tony Storm as her partner.
Yeah.
If it was gonna be Tony Storm all along, I don't think you wait until the week before to announce it.
Well, yeah, you do. If you're going to build up that animosity between Tony Storm and Sheeta, we're saying they're the two best, and Saraya can't decide. She's going back and forth between these two. You hold off because that's the story they're telling.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Now, I see what you're saying. It's just that, yeah, we just got worked into thinking it was Mercedes.
And that's y'all. That's y'all's fault, not Tony's fault. He was trying to tell a completely different story.
Yes, yeah.
In all fairness, though, they did have Britt Baker come on screen.
Say she's boss.
Yeah. And pretty much
Well, she's been saying
got
I run this division. She's been saying I run this division since she's got there. She just put it in a different terms this time.
Yeah, but they know what they're doing. Like out of every word you could have used in any point in time, this is the time you chose to use. Like I'm the boss.
Maybe she's the one trying to throw everybody else off.
Well, they
It
really
worked.
they really fucked with our minds. I'll just go ahead and say that. But yeah, man, I felt a little bit let down that it wasn't her, but as long as she eventually comes through and does shit with AEW, I'll be fine with it. I just wish it was now. But yeah, just have her defeat Jade Cargill and I'll be happy. What number is she at?
47?
48, something like that.
47, I think.
So it's close.
Yeah.
Okay. I need this to happen like ASAP. I'm talking like 3 weeks from now at the most. But yeah, man, really, really interesting shows to the week. And with everything going on, we don't know whether it's going to be a good Rumble or a bad Rumble. What's it going to look like? There's a lot of questions, but either way, we're going to stick with it. And we are going to be here for the ride.
And this week, Dynamite has another big show this week. You have Bandito going against Brian Danielson. And even though he's not signed to AEW, you've got, for the first time ever, Darby Allin versus Kushida.
Hell yeah. That's going to be a really fun match.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean they probably won't announce anything else. So everything else will be a bit of a surprise, but
I think I heard Athena's defending the ROH women's title against Yuka Sakazaki. Either is it on Rampage or Dynamite?
I haven't heard that.
I think it might be Rampage.
They also showed that Adam Page is going to be talking to Renee.
Oh. Oh, that's another thing, though. That's another thing. Moxley was taken out this week in his match, so maybe he gets a vacation.
Maybe he finally gets his vacation.
Unless he just shows up on Wednesday again.
Well, if he does show up on Wednesday, he's going to be playing up the story of now he might be the one with a concussion because of how Adam Page looked concerned after the match ended. But in a perfect world, this is just where Moxley takes a vacation. So I hope that's what happened. I think he's earned it. So yeah, I'm just I don't want to see him away from my screen, but if it leads to the Moxley vacation, I'm here for it. So yeah, man, lots of shit to look forward to, like always. So we're just gonna have to see.
And also,
this week,
I got to mention something because we were talking about it today. We made a split second decision. So next Saturday night, we're gonna be on twice. We're gonna have our regular podcast. Then at midnight, we're gonna come and do another watch along for Japan. It's going to be this time it's Pro Wrestling Noah. It's going to be the Great Muda's final match show, which is called the Final Bye Bye. And the main event, it's going to be a 6-man. Great Mood is going to be teaming with Darby Allin and Sting. And I counted, there's 11 matches on this card, but all the matches except for one are multi-man matches.
Yeah.
The only singles match is we get to see Timothy Thatcher wrestle.
Hell yeah.
That'll be good.
And from what we have seen, multi-man matches in Japan tend to go quick.
Yeah.
So even though there's 11 matches on the card, they should fly by, but
Yeah.
we're still going to be at least at a 3 to 4 hour show. So it'll be fun.
Yeah.
We will be expecting you to be here at midnight, Drew.
No.
I know, man. You got to work
Yeah.
the following
Yeah,
day.
we know. Yeah.
So
I would be leaving to go to work the time the show's over.
yeah. That is also
We'll send you the link just so you can hop on your way out the door.
Yeah. So yeah, expect that next Saturday. We're gonna be here doing our live reactions to it. So it's gonna be a fun time. There's gonna be a lot of fun matches.
Yes.
So lots to look forward to throughout the week. And we're gonna have that double block of shows next Saturday. So it's gonna be a fun time. But like always, to see how it goes, it is time to stump the brain.
Okay, it's Rumble season. So, of course, we have Rumble questions. I want to know the wrestlers.
Who's Wexler?
Wrestlers who have competed multiple times in the same night in the Rumble.
Okay. Well, let's see. Brock Lesnar.
No, in Rumble matches.
Wait, what? You want to know?
They competed in multiple times the same night in Rumble matches.
Like they were eliminated, but they came back.
Well,
they had a match before.
No, they competed in the Rumble match multiple times. All the times they competed that match were in a Rumble match.
This question's confusing.
Because I mean, well,
these wrestlers have competed more than once in either the same Rumble match or multiple Rumble matches in the same night.
I mean, until 2018, there was only one Rumble match. Oh, wait a minute. I know what
you're getting it.
I know
you're getting it.
Okay.
Well, now you know the first one.
Nia Jax.
That was 2019.
Yeah.
She competed in the women's. Then she came out, beat up R-Truth, and took his place in the men's.
Yes, and then she took a 619, an RKO, and a super kick.
Yeah, it got eliminated.
Yeah.
You should know the other one. Come on. I thought that would be the easier one.
Yeah. Obviously, it was the easy one. Nia Jax was.
Well, I thought the other one would be the easier one.
Is it someone we recently spoke about?
No.
Oh.
So then, is this another woman in the men's match?
No.
Oh, the opposite.
No.
No?
Think.
So we've got one, Nia Jax.
Yes.
Yes.
How many total is there?
2.
There's
There's
two.
one more. Wow.
I mean,
This,
it,
I didn't think this would be this hard.
I mean, it didn't help that the question was a little confusing at first. But
Yeah.
Let us know if you
It's
tap out.
is it our truth?
No.
No.
Let me tell you,
Yeah.
Mick Foley. He fought as Dude Love, got eliminated.
Oh,
Cactus Jack got eliminated from Mankind. He was in the same Rumble match 3 different times.
jeez.
I thought that would be the easier one. It was 1998 that he did that.
See, I was thinking more of like women that were in the men's rumble.
Yeah, that's where my mind went to. I was like, who the fuck did that? See,
Well,
that's how the other one was.
I also said wrestlers competed more than once in either the same Rumble or multiple Rumbles in the same night.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that's where it threw him off a little bit. Wow.
Yeah.
You got him this week. That was a
Wow.
really good question.
Halfway.
You get half credit on that one. But hey, half credit is better than no credit. So, like always, if you have any questions or comments, wrestlelost@gmail.com, WrestleLost on Facebook. Don't forget to give us a follow here on Twitch. And don't forget to follow us on YouTube as well, also at WrestleLost. So it's going to be a very interesting week. We're going to come at y'all next weekend with the thoughts on everything that happens and with the extra watch along for Noah. So look forward to that. Hope everyone enjoys the rest of their weekend, and we will see you all next week.
See you next week.
Check you later.